Hey guys, today I'm going to show you how to combo optimally with pure Cyber Dragon, which is by far the best way to play the deck. If you want to see my results, deck profile, and gameplay, I'll have the links for them in the description. Let's start with the first combo with Core or Emergency to search it. It's important to note here that this combo is technically speaking going to be a 1.5 card combo in actual games, and I'll explain why in a second. So we start by normal summoning Core, we search Realm, and then we activate Realm, we search Chimera, and then we use Realm's effect to normal summon Chimera, and then we're gonna link Core into Knight, and Knight is gonna search Clockwork, and here we activate Chimera's effect, discard Clockwork, add Power Bond, and now we can go into SP, and we can go chain link 1 Chimera, and then we can chain block with SP. So here we're going to send Wurm. And if you continue here by activating Wurm's effect, that would not be optimal. That's because this is going to be our 5th summon, and we'll be playing into Nibiru for no reason. So the optimal way to continue here is going to be activating Clockwork's effect first and discarding one of your cards and searching Regulus. And then you can target Chimera and summon Regulus. And now you're Nibiru proof and you can continue your combo. Right. So most of the time in actual games, this is how you're going to continue. But for the purpose of this demo, we're just going to continue with Wurm. So we send hers, and then we can add back Realm, and we activate hers, add back OG, and we activate Clockwork, we discard Realm, we add Regulus. So this is the previous step that we talked about. We target Chimera, and now we continue. Power Bond, Rampage, we banish hers and Core. And here you can pop Chimera if you want to, doesn't matter. And then we're gonna activate Rampage and dump Nachster and Jorm. So we're gonna go into Nova. And now we're gonna use Nova's effect and detach and special summon Nachster. And Nachster is gonna special summon Jorm. So here we go Infinity. And now we activate Jorm's effect, bounce Nachster, and search Poly. And now we can activate Poly and go into Heos. So this is our end board. It's 4 good disruptions, and we're gonna have follow-up on the next turn with Nachster, and Heos is gonna recycle Power Bond. So that is the core combo. Remember, we also have 4 cards in hand, so we're gonna have 6 cards total next turn. So this is pretty good, but let's move on to the next one. Okay, for this combo, you need Realm or Claw to search it. We start by activating Realm, we add Chimera, and then we use Realm's effect to normal summon Chimera. Then we're gonna link into Knight. Then we go chain link 1 Chimera, chain link 2 Knight. So we're gonna add Clockwork, and we're gonna send Wurm. So here we're gonna activate Wurm's effect. And the question here is, which monster do we send? There is one correct way to do this, right? If you're gonna combo optimally. So think about it. Which one would you send here? So the correct answer is that we need to be sending OG, and I'll tell you why in a second. So we get Wurm, we recycle back, and then we use Knight, we get Chimera, and then we activate Chimera's effect, discard Clockwork, get Power Bond, and then we're gonna use Clockwork's effect, discard Realm, and add Regulus. So our next summon here is going to be the 5th summon, and we do not want to lose to Nibiru. So what we do here is we use Regulus and we equip OG. So now what we can do is because we cannot use Power Bond anymore, right? We only have Wurm here. So what we're going to do here is contact fuse this OG here with Chimera. So we contact fuse, and now we can use Power Bond. So this is why we had to send OG, because if this was any other Cyber Dragon monster, we will not be able to contact fuse. And this will mess up our sequence for playing around Nibiru. But now we can continue. So we go Power Bond. We banish OG and Wurm. And then we're going to send Herz and Core. And Herz is going to activate. We add back Core. So here we can go SP with Fortress and Knight. And we're going to banish Herz specifically because Herz is a card that you always need to put back in your deck in order for us to have grind game, right? This is our way of recycling monsters, and we need to recycle it back. And we do that with Cyberload. So we go Cyberload here, and now we can use Cyberload and shuffle back Herz and OG. Remember, we banished Wurm, so Wurm cannot be used as fusion material for Rampage because it's not Cyber Dragon in the banish zone. This is why we had to banish Herz. So we shuffle them back, and now we can dump Nachster and Jorm. So we continue with Nova, and then we can activate Nova and special summon Nachster. Activate Nachster, and then we can get into Jorm, and now we can go Infinity. And when we activate Jorm, we get Poly. Now we can go Poly and get into Heos. We activate Heos, and that's our board. So we end on the same board as the core combo with Nachster in hand. And here, where are the differences between this and the core combo? Because we can recycle Cyberload here, and we shuffled our Cyber Dragon monsters from the banished into the deck. So it's important to understand like resource management in this deck and grind game, because we use most of our resources in turn 1. So having access to Cyberload is something that you always want to keep in mind, because that gives us grind game, right? So that is definitely an advantage that this combo has over the core combo, right? And plus, you don't need to discard for Regulus the way you need to in the core combo. So there's definitely some advantages here over the combo with core, but depending on the situation, one could be better than the other. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. Okay, moving on to the Horizon lines. This is where things start getting complicated. I'm going to briefly go over Horizon, but if you want to see the full explanation on why this is the best card in the deck, you can refer to my deck profile. With Horizon, we're going to send 2 Cyber monsters with different attributes to the graveyard, one from the hand and one from the deck. Then we'll add any Cyber monster we want from the deck to our hand, and then we'll send 1 Machine Cyber Fusion monster from the extra deck to the graveyard. Now Horizon has a restriction. We cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck the turn we activate this card except machine monsters. So if you're building this deck correctly, the only thing that you're gonna won't be able to summon is going to be SP, and that is totally fine. It's just something to keep in mind. So if you summon SP first, you will not be able to activate Horizon. Okay, the way I'm going to do this is that I'm going to be splitting those lines into groups. The first group is going to be either Nachster, OG, Core, or Wurm, because those lines are going to be similar. There are like small differences between each monster, but for the most part, the ideas are the same. So we activate Horizon, we send Nachster and Wurm, and then we can add Claw here. And then we can send Eternity. And now we activate Claw. We add Realm. Then we'll activate Realm, and we add Chimera. Why is this off? Okay, and then we can summon Chimera. And now, oops. And now we're going to use Wurm's effect, and we can send Core and Special Summon. And then we'll add back Horizon. And here we can link Wurm into Knight. And now we can activate Chimera, discard Clockwork, add Power Bond. Now we activate Clockwork, discard Horizon, add Regulus. So this is going to be our 4th summon. So we are getting protection from Nib, and now we can continue with Power Bond, and we're going to banish Nachster, and core. So here we can pop Eternity if we want to, doesn't matter, and then we're going to send Herz and core. So we activate Herz, we add core, and now we can normal summon core, add Cyberload. So here we can use Cyberload, and we can get into the second rampage. And now we can send Nachster and Jorm. So here we're going to use Knight's effect and targeting Jorm, tributing Chimera. Now we're going to use Jorm's effect and bounce core and get poly. So from here we can go Nova. And now we can special summon Nachster, and Nachster can get us Wurm. And here we can go into Infinity, and then we can go into Vamana using Jorm and Wurm. And now we'll go into Heos. We activate Heos, and finally we can attach Knight to Infinity, and that's our end board. So we end on 4 disruptions just like before. The only difference is that instead of SP we have Vamana, and Vamana is a monster negate, and it can be kind of a battle protection, which is pretty good. And on the next turn we can recycle Cyberload or Power Bond if we need to, and we can continue from there. Notice how that some of those lines we use 2 rampages. This is very important because this is why we need a third one, so that in the grind game we can use the third rampage to OTK, right? So yeah, the third rampage is very much mandatory here. But yeah, so this is our end board, and this is the first group with Horizon. So let's go to the second group. The next group is going to be Horizon plus either Jorm or Herz. We start by activating Horizon. We send Jorm and Wurm, and we add core. And then we can send Eternity. We normal summon core, we add Realm. We can activate Realm and add Chimera. And now we can use Realm's effect and normal summon Chimera. And now we can link using core into Knight. And Knight will get us to Clockwork. So here we can use Chimera's effect, discard Clockwork, and get Power Bond. From here we can use Wurm's effect, send Herz, and we can add back, doesn't matter. Now here we can add back OG. So now we use Clockwork's effect, we discard, and we get Regulus. So this is going to be our 5th summon, and will be protected from Nibiru. So now we continue. We go into Rampage by banishing Herz and core. And we can pop Eternity if we want to. And then we can send Nachster. Here we go Nova. And we can use Nova to special summon Nachster. And Nachster will special summon Jorm. So now we can go into Infinity. And we can use Jorm's effect and get poly. From here we can use Knight's effect and summon back Wurm. And here we can go into Vamana. And now we can go into Heos. We activate Heos, and finally we can attach Knight to Infinity. And that's our end board. 4 disruptions, just as before, but here we do not have access to Cyberload, and we did not shuffle back our monsters. So keep that in mind. The next group is Horizon plus Claw. So we activate Horizon, we send Claw, and we send Jorm here. And we add core. Then we send Eternity. And now we can go core, get Realm. We're going to activate Realm and get Chimera. We use Realm's effect to normal summon Chimera, And now we can link core into Knight. And we have Clockwork now. We use Chimera's effect, we discard Clockwork, add Power Bond. And here, it was important for us to send Jorm, because what we're going to do next is activate Knight's effect and target Jorm. So we can send Wurm to the graveyard with Chimera. So here, we can use Wurm's effect, but how many monsters did we summon so far? Right, so it was Core, Chimera, Knight, and Jorm. So for this combo, we do need an extra card in our hand to discard for Clockwork and get Regulus so that we can be protected from Nibiru. Right, similar to the first combo that I showed with Core. So in reality, here we just discard, we get Regulus, and then we continue. But for the purpose of this demo, we're just going to continue with Wurm. So now you can add back, and now hers is going to add back OG. So we use Clockwork, we discard, we get Regulus, and now we can summon Regulus. And now we can continue with Power Bond. So here, get Rampage, Pop Eternity, and then we can send. And we use those two to go into Nova. And now Nova can detach, and we can special summon Nachster. And Nachster will get us Wurm. So here we get the Infinity, and now we can use Jorm's effect, bounce Nachster, get Poly, and now we can go into Vamana and Heos. We activate Heos, and then we can activate Infinity and attach, and that's our inboard. So this is definitely one of the weaker Horizon lines. This is something, it's important to understand the differences between each of these groups and how those lines work. Some of them are better than the others. Like the first one that I showed, that is the best one. And like we're going gradually to the worst one. Okay, so let's check out the last combo with Horizon. Okay, so this is going to be the last combo with Horizon. And the last group here is Chimera. This is the weakest combo here, but we're gonna still be able to end on the same board. So we start with Horizon, we send Chimera and Nachster. And we add Core, then we send Eternity. We activate Chimera's effect to send Wurm. So here we can normal summon Core, we add Realm, we can activate Realm, and we add Claw. And now we can use Wurm's effect and we send hers. So we special summon and then we add Horizon. We activate hers and we add Nachster. So here we activate Nachster's effect, we discard Claw, and then we special summon and we revive Chimera. So unfortunately in this line, we'll have to play into Nibiru. This is just a risk that we have to play unless we have something else in our hand that can help us here. So we can link Core into Knight, and then we search Clockwork. And then we use Chimera and get Power Bond. And here we can search for Regulus. Now, if you're really concerned about Nibiru and you want to summon it early, you can do that. It's just going to cost you one of your disruptions, right? But here we're just gonna assume that he doesn't have Nibiru and we're just gonna take the risk. So we're not gonna summon Regulus now, we're just gonna continue. So we have hers and Core in the grave, so we can use Power Bond. We go Rampage. And here we can send OG and Jorm. So here we can use Regulus now and equip OG. And now we can use Knight and and send Chimera, and now we can use Jorm and bounce OG here and get Poly. So now we could just go Heos right away using OG and Nachster. And now we can go Nova. And then we revive. Doesn't matter, we can revive Wurm here. And then we can go Infinity, and now finally we can go Vamana. And don't forget to attach. And this is the same board as before. It's just the way to get here is riskier with Chimera. But that's it for the horizon lines. Now I want to show you what is the best board this deck can realistically make. It's a 2.5 card combo, and there are a couple of combinations that we can use here. One of them is Realm plus Core plus any Cyber Dragon monster. So we start with Core, and here we add Overflow. So now we can use Realm to add Chimera, and then we normal summon Chimera using Realm, and now we can link into Night. We search for Clockwork, and now we can activate Chimera, discard Clockwork, add Power Bond, and now we use Clockwork's effect, discard Core, and we get Regulus. So here we can go SP, and now we go Chain Link 1, and then we Chain Block with SP. And here we can go Regulus to protect us from Nibiru. And now we're going to set Overflow, and we're going to go Power Bond. So we banish both cores. And here Rampage can pop. And Overflow is going to search. So we get Cyberload here. So now we use Rampage, and we send Nachster and Jorm. So here we're going to use Cyberload. Shuffle back and get the second Rampage. And here we can just send one core if you want to, and then we go Nova. So Nova's going to revive Nachster, and Nachster is going to revive Jorm. And now we can go into Infinity, and then we use Jorm's effect, and we get Poly. So here we're going to use Worm's effect because we didn't activate it yet. We send hers, and now we're going to add back Overflow, and then we can use hers effect and add OG. And now we can go into Vamana, and now Poly. And then we set Overflow. So this is a 6 very powerful disruption board. Like, your opponent need something like Dark Ruler no more to break this, right? And we can like consistently end on this board. Like, it's very realistic to end on this board if he doesn't have any disruptions. And sometimes you can even end on it through disruptions. Like, it can be crazy, right? Remember, we used 3 cards from our hand and we still have 2 unknowns. But yeah, this is the best board that we can make. The last combo that I wanted to show you is with Chimera. Chimera plus any spell or trap is going to give you 2 to 3 disruptions depending on the spell or trap in question. So here we have Chimera plus Cyberload. Now this is of course not optimal, but sometimes you have an awkward hand or you're in a tough spot and you need to do this. So we normal summon Chimera, we activate its effect, we discard Cyberload, and then we add Power Bond. So here we can link into Night, and then we can activate Chimera and send Wurm. So now we activate Wurm, we send hers, and we special summon. Then we can add back Cyberload, and hers is going to activate, and we can add OG. From here we can use Power Bond, and go into Rampage using OG and Herz. So Rampage is gonna send Nachster and Jorm. From here, we can go into SP and we can banish Nachster. So now we can use Cyberload, shuffle back Nachster and Herz, and go to the second Rampage. So here we can send Nachster and Core, and then we can go into Nova. Now we use Nova. It's going to revive Nachster, and Nachster is going to revive Jorm. So here we can go into Infinity, and then we can use Jorm's effect to bounce Nachster and search Poly. From here, we use Poly, and we go into Heos. And that's our inboard. 3 disruptions plus follow-up with Cyberload. So this is not bad, but not optimal. Alright, so these were the fundamental combos of the deck. If you found this video helpful, drop a like and subscribe to see more. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and I'll catch you all in the next one.